Hey everyone. So today, another IM review. What do you know? Going to be talking about the Campfire Audio Jupiter and the Campfire Audio Lyra. This guy. Jupiter comes in at $900, Lyra at $700. I'll start with the Jupiter. It's obviously, maybe not obvious to you guys, but this is a very high quality build. Geez, the the metal housing, I'm not sure if it's aluminum, but metal housing, the cord. I love this. I love the coaxial, whatever sort of connector it's got. Snap in sort of. Really nice on all fronts in terms of build. Uses the wider bores, so which I don't like, but I had no problem with the comply tips. I was very comfortable in terms of size. These aren't too big, so I think most people won't have a problem with them like hanging off their ear or whatever, So I think it's good on all build fronts, really. Pretty impeccable. One of the better build qualities I've seen. Talk about sound, boy. I've already wrote up a little bit on the site, SBAF. But boy, did these impress me. These were probably the best IM I've heard in memory I can think of. These were just so impressive in terms of what they delivered. In terms of sound, I would describe the Jupiter as being neutral, with a slight relaxed or laid back tuning in the upper mids and treble. Bass is great. He gets down really low hits. Love the bass on these. Mids are just, again, I think it's my interpretation of a very neutral curve. It's just so smooth and euphonic in a highly resolving sense, right? It's not a euphonic and it's like overly warm. That's not what I consider euphonic, at least. It's just euphonic in that it picks up a lot of musical information and renders the euphony of the sound, right? As I said, it's got a relaxed tuning up top, but again, it's just so smooth and extended. It's so uncanny. When listening to the Jupiter is uncanny for me because it's relaxed, but it's supremely extended up top. So I love that quality about the Jupiter. Technically, I got great sense of space. I love I don't think it's particularly wide sounding. It's not overtly wide sounding, but everything is in its right place. Things are panned correctly. You can see everything. The image forms right correctly. Lots of great resolution, so much plankton. It picks up so much stuff. It's got like I said, that uncanny resolving ability to just render things softly and just pick it all up. I love that about the Jupiter. It's almost a psychoacoustic thing where you just kind of lay back into the music and you're hearing all the stuff, and it's just awesome. So yeah, the Jupiter sounds like it was made for me. It was just that supremely resolving and supremely euphonic at the same time. So that's the best way to describe the Jupiter. Big fan. So again, talking about the Lyra, it's got a different housing. It's got a smaller housing, supposedly ceramic housing. It's got the same wide bore, same cables. Again, these guys know what they're doing in terms of build quality. It is very nice, well put together product. With regard to sound, the thing about the Lyra is that I have the Jupiter right next to me, and it pales in comparison. In short, the Lyra does sound different. Some people have said the Lyra is supposed to be more bassy or bass heavy or bassy. I don't hear the Lyra as being too too much bassier than the Jupiter. Really, I don't hear it that way. It's maybe slightly, but it's not leagues apart. Where the Jupiter differs most drastically is probably in the mids. The mids are a bit more scooped on the. Sorry, I'm not sure if I said that right. If the Lyra differs in the sense that the mids are a bit more scooped, and it's not quite as clear. I think the Campfire audio is tuning, from the sense I'm getting from both these, is that they're tuned for a more relaxed, sort of a bassy, warm, or maybe not bassy, I shouldn't say bassy, warm sound, but they tune for a flat but well extended bass, and also, but then a relaxed upper mid. That's the sense I'm getting from hearing this. The Lyra goes a bit too far, and I think you could describe it as being scooped or sucked out in the upper mids, which is a complaint you could levy against the Jupiter, I suppose. But I don't really think that holds up. On the Lyra it does, and also it's just another thing of the textural coloration. It's just not, again, like I said, not as clear, a bit more strained actually. I was surprised. Because the Lyra is supposed to be a dynamic driver, beryllium, I think, or whatever material, single driver dynamic, as opposed to the Jupiter, which is quad, but a two-way quad, right? Too low, too high on each side. But it's more strained. It's not as. I'm surprised that I would have expected a dynamic to be more clean and clear, and while a BA a balanced armature would have had that bit of that tinge to the sound, but the working the other way in this case, the Lyra has more of a mid-range tinned grayness veil, however you want to describe it. In terms of the Lyra's treble performance, I'd say more sibilant, not as smooth as the Jupiter. As Tile might say, it's zippy, a bit zippy sounding in the treble. Just a bit, not too much. It's not a deal. I don't think it'll be a deal breaker for most people, but it is just not quite as smooth. It's also not quite as extended as the Jupiter. So it doesn't, and again, getting back to what the Jupiter does well, the magic, that audio magic that the Jupiter has that the Lyra doesn't. The Jupiter has more magic. It is a higher level mage, or however you want to describe it. And I guess I would have liked the Lyra so much more if it wasn't for the Jupiter sitting right next to me. So overall, at their price points, I mean, it's only $200 more, but $200 is a lot of money, of course, but $200 in the scheme of things is a little less than, probably a little more than 20%. I'd go for it. I wouldn't recommend the Lyra. I'd recommend people get the Jupiter. If you want a bassy sound, if you want it, I keep trying to think of a situation where you would want the Lyra over the Jupiter, and I can't really think of one. I think if you're a bass head and you want hard-hitting good bass from 9 a.m., I think the Jupiter provides that just as well. I think if you want supreme, like a neutral, listenable, wide genre bandwidth, I think the Jupiter provides that better than the Lyra. If you want best awesome resolution and pick up everything on the recording, Jupiter does it better. I think the Jupiter's better in just about every regard. So I'd recommend people move up the rung and go for that. So yeah, that's my thoughts in summary. I'm gonna probably end up getting a Jupiter. The only thing I want to listen to the UERR. The UERR is probably comparable to the Jupiter, but I need to give another listen. But the Jupiter is definitely on my end game list, and we'll see. And of course, they've already released another flagship. When I got these, I believe the Jupiter was the flagship, but now the Andromeda is the flagship. So I haven't heard those, and I'd be curious to hear them. But yeah, Jupiter. Hope you guys found the review informative, and thanks for watching.